Hey folks, we are back. Today is Tuesday, September 17th, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the state of football in the Sunshine State. We know that we've got obviously the three teams, Miami, Florida, and Florida State. One is trending upward, two are trending downward. And in a state like Florida, where the talent is so plentiful, that's why there is so much discontent. Florida State, of course, they were going to take a step back after winning the ACC. They went through unbeaten. Of course, we know what the whole fiasco was with the college football playoff, and maybe that kind of carried over a little bit this year with the way they've played. But you would think a coach like Mike Norvell, who's been around the block for a little bit, would have been able to kind of get everybody on the same page and working together. Instead, Florida State finds itself at 0-3. Now, the problem is almost totally on offense with them. The offensive line has been leaky, and that's actually an area where there was going to be some experience and some optimism. So that was something that's a little bit surprising. And there's also been some below average quarterback play from transfer DJ Uiagalelei. Maybe that's not surprising given how his career has gone. Norvell, of course, last year molded last year's team through portal, and he had a lot of experienced guys kind of to go in. It was more of a mix. This year, it seemed like it was an overhaul. And I think he maybe trusted that process a little too much heading into this year, as it has not worked. The new receivers have had problems getting open. Roydell Williams has not had a lot of holes to run through, and the remade defense has not been able to generate much pressure. So the portal can be a positive if you use it correctly. Teams need to have the right fits. And that said, there are a lot of people who are wondering if Norvell is on a hot seat. And that's kind of crazy talk. I mean, he's not going anywhere. He bought himself time with the 2023 season. They went undefeated. Obviously, the bowl game didn't go well with all the opt outs, but you're not going to can a guy after going undefeated and winning a league title. Now, that said, Florida State does need to fix the offense. And if it can't do that, then you may be looking at a team that misses the postseason, and that is not something that they want down in Tallahassee. Moving over to Gainesville, that sound you hear is the drumbeat of discontent. As the Gators sit at 1-2, their only win is over an FCS team. They have not looked very good against Miami or Texas A&M, which are the two legit teams that they have faced. I need to admit it. I thought the Billy Napier hire was going to work. He came in organized. He was from the South, so he sort of knew the lay of the land, and he won at a ridiculous rate at Louisiana. So I really thought that it was going to be a better fit, not the disaster that Brian Harsin was at Auburn, but that it was going to take a little bit of time. But I thought that maybe it would work. He's also a nice guy, but that in and of itself does not matter. I've got a buddy that I kind of debate this with, but if you look over the years, some of the best coaches of all time had a bit of a, well, how do you put it? I guess they had a little bit of an a-hole streak in them. They didn't care if they had to run over their mother to win football games. And you saw that with the two best to ever do it at Florida, Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer. They were a little bit prickly, but their teams won at a huge, huge rate. They were cocky SOBs, but their teams backed it up. Maybe that's what Florida needs. You got to dispense with the pleasantries, the we'll fix it this week. Just go out there and be dogs. That's all you have to do. Knock someone in the mouth. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago that Meyer took his team out onto the field, told you what they were going to do, and then went out and did it. This bunch lacks an identity, and that's a problem when the toughest schedule in the nation is really going to ramp up here in the next few weeks. A lot of people were saying that maybe the ceiling for Florida was 6 games, but given how the offenses looked against Miami and Texas A&M, that might be a little bit optimistic. So, unlike Norvell, Napier does definitely have reason to worry. There are 26 million reasons to keep Napier, but one big reason to let him go. Florida is not winning games, and that may be all that's important to Gators fans. The one trend going upward is Miami, but even that comes with a caveat that Miami has been in this position before, and when they faced really good teams, they've sort of floundered. So Miami, Mario Cristobal has definitely upgraded the talent through the portal. He got Cam Ward, who right now is one of the leading candidates for the Heisman Trophy. The defense looks like nails, but to be honest, they really haven't played anyone. We're probably not going to know a whole lot about them until maybe the middle of October. Their first three ACC games are against Virginia Tech, Cal, and at Louisville. First two are at least legitimate opponents, but going to Louisville, that's going to be the real measuring stick. The Cards are ranked. They have a pretty good defense. They have an offense that's opportunistic and can make big plays. So that's when we're going to really know a lot about Miami. Right now, the Canes definitely rule the roost in Florida, and they are certainly holding up the flag for football in the state of Florida. But otherwise, there's not a lot to write home about. And you have to think that if this continues, especially for Florida and Florida State, that it is going to be a cloudy offseason for the residents of the Sunshine State.